Qatar 2022 should tell us that in the same way that in a level playing field for football or soccer or cricket, a Saudi Arabia could defeat an Argentina, so too on the level playing field of the market, of monetary economics, of international trade and so on. If we had a level playing field, the West would not be permanently rich and the rest of the world permanently poor and going further and further down into destitution and slavery and having to economic migrants, refugees floating all over the seas trying to get into the West. This is the first lesson we've learned from Qatar 2022. But there's something else, something sinister that's going on. And that is even in the build-up to the World Cup. A people who the Quran has described as Gog and Magog. I don't go to the Hadith first to answer the question of who is Gog and Magog. I go to the Quran because absolute truth is in the Quran. And the Quran tells me that Gog and Magog, when they are released into the world, they're going to commit fasad. And the Quran tells me that they're going to spread out all over the world. So there is going to be an event which will occur only once in human history. Are you listening? Tomorrow I'll no longer be in this world. The voice will not be here speaking anymore. Listen to me now. This is an event which will occur only once in history. That a people will emerge who will be trademarked, will be corruption. And a corruption which is destructive in nature, and this corruption will spread all over the world. وَهُمْ مِنْ كُلِّ حَدَبٍ يَنْسِلُونَ إِنَّ يَأْجُوجَ وَمَأْجُوجَ مُفْسِدُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. That these people, Gog and Magog, who have the trademark of corruption and oppression, they are also so powerful that only Allah can destroy them. When Zulkarnain, who was given power by Allah to pursue whatever he wants to pursue, any errand, any mission. And when he came upon a people and Allah asked him, what would you use, how would you treat them with your power? He says, those who are committing fasad, those who are committing zulm, I will use my power to punish them. And when they return to you, you will also punish them. But when Gog and Magog, he should have said, I don't need to build a barrier, I have the power, I'll go and destroy them. No, he doesn't have the power to destroy Gog and Magog. Russia does not have the power to destroy Gog and Magog. So all that he can do is to contain them, not destroy them. When Gog and Magog are released from behind that barrier that he built, the Quran says, that will be the cue, that the people who were expelled from a town because of Allah destroy them. These people are banned, they can never return to reclaim that town as their own. This is Surah Al-Anbiya. But they will return to their town to reclaim it as their own only when Gog and Magog are released and they spread out all over the world. Then you see these people being brought back to that town. And so who are those who brought the Jews back to Jerusalem? Yes, it's Jerusalem. To reclaim Jerusalem as their own. Answer, it is modern Western civilization. And so Gog and Magog are those who control power in the modern West, whether you accept it or you don't. And then when they wanted to slaughter the Arabs, they called it the Arab Spring. It wasn't the Arab Spring. It was the end of the Arab world. And guess which country has stood up to them and slapped them in their faces? Not Pakistan, but Russia. Struck them on their face, slapped them on their faces. And Russia adopted law, the Russian law. And yet you have stupidity to tell me Russia is a Zionist state. And yet you are supporting the West against Russia. Don't you have any sense? Who is standing up for the truth? Who is standing up for the truth in the world today? Is it Pakistan or is it Russia? Standing up against the LBGXYZ. Standing up to say this is a perversion of our traditional way of life. And we want to preserve the family. So we are banning it in Russia. This is what you should be looking at when you study what's happening in Qatar today. It's a level playing field for football. So why can't it be a level playing field for truth as well? No, they control all the media. Tomorrow I may not be allowed to travel. Tomorrow my website, my this and my that, I'll be shut down. That is their level playing field. This is the corruption that comes from the modern West. Not all. We have honorable people living in the West. We have people who can think and who are challenging that destructive system that is reducing Britain to an atheist state, to a land in which religion is collapsing. And while religion is collapsing in Britain, our sheep and our cattle and goats and camels still want a visa. But those who are the people of Gog and Magog, they don't want a level playing